Have you ever been designing something like a timing belt and then you have a pattern and you make a small adjustment and everything just stops working? So maybe you've created a pattern for the teeth and then just making small adjustments in the spacing, it stops solving, or you make a quick adjustment to the overall length of the belt and your pattern is not syncing up. So I've created this pattern on this belt. I want to go to the original sketch that started this basic belt layout and make small adjustments, like make this 95, make this 130, update it, and still have the appropriate amount of teeth and the appropriate spacing between them. When we go around the perimeter, if we were to add up all these dimensions, this is going to give us that chain value. So if I double click on this chain, I can find the value of 428. I want to be able to add all these up and put them in a dialog. So when we look at the pattern that we're doing later, we're going to need to put this value right here. I need this value to always update this belt length or circumference. So how are we going to solve for this? We have the simple belt. We have that first tooth profile extruded. We'll go back to the original sketch. These components, the straight dimensions, are going to be pretty easy. I can even add the parameters now. So this first one, I could call section 1 equals 130. And this is section 2. This is the tricky part. This radius value is not the measurement. If we were to take a piece of string and run it along this and then straighten it out and measure it, that's called the arc length. When I click on this arc, the arc length does not pop up, but if I hit measure, it does. The length of 26. So how can we get Fusion to tell us what that value is? We need to use parameters and we need to get a little bit fancy. First, let's put some lines in. We'll start at the center point of the arc and go to the end point of this arc. Center point to the end point of the arc. Looks good. I'll hit X for both lines, make them construction. Okay, so we create these lines, and now we're going to add a smart dimension, dimension the two lines, create the angle. It's okay that it's driven. It's just a reference value. We can easily calculate the arc length. So we're going to go up to Modify, Parameters. Your table will pop up, and what I want to do is create some arc lengths. I'm going to do this one as my first arc length 2, arc length 3. Before we create the arc lengths, let's go in and make sure our dimensions make sense. So I need the 12 and the 116.3. The 12 is D28, so I could make this, so the section 2 radius, or I can do S. We could do S to R, so section 2 radius, and then the angle of 116 is down below. Put in whatever variable makes sense to you, whatever naming scheme you want to follow. So I'm going to do section 2, and this is the angle. And click OK. In our parameters, we can create the first arc length. So we'll say arc length 1. This will be the angle, which we know is S2A, section 2 angle. You can put it in parentheses, and then divide by radians. And then we're going to multiply it times the radius, which is this S2R. I did do another video explaining how we do these calculations if you want to spend a little more time with this, but it's effectively the radius times the angle as long as it's in radians. We now have this 24 value. So we have the arc length of 24 for this one. We know that section length. We know this one. This should be 75. Let's call that section 3. We can go back. I'm going to rename this one to S1. So now we're on to section 4, and that's another arc length. So the 30 is 4R, and the angle is S4A, section 4 angle. And now let's do the second arc length. So this will be arc length 2, the angle of that section, S4A. When you're creating your equation in the parameter, when it's red, that's a warning that it's not quite complete or not formatted yet. And as soon as I add this remaining dimension, this should go black. And now it looks great, and it's calculated the value. Click enter. And so now we have the second arc length. The 95 should be S5 for section 5. And now finally, this radius of 20 at the bottom is section 6 radius. And we still need this angle. I'm going to click OK so I can come back. I'm going to dimension between these two. It's over constrained. That's okay. We'll create driven. All right, so back to the parameter table. This 141 is our section 6 angle. Now let's do our final arc length. Okay, S6A divided by radian times the radius, which is S6R. Click enter. All right, we have all the values going all the way around, all that work, right? Just to get those arc lengths. So next, let's add the total run. And finally, let's do the full circumference or belt length. Could do belt length, and it's going to just basically be everything added together. S1 plus arc length 1 plus 3 plus arc length 2, S5 plus arc length 3. That should be everything. Let's click OK. Okay, the total value is 427.24. If we were to double click on this and look at the measurement, 427.24, terrific, we got it right. Now we can finally wrap this up and do our pattern. So we're gonna do the extrude for the belt, the extrude for the tooth, and now we want to pattern it. Now let's try to do a pattern on path. The one thing I'd warn you against is trying to do all of this with extents. We know this full length, but then we have to do calculations of how it reaches the end and then keeps the spacing even with the last instance. It's not a lot of fun. And the easiest way I think you could do this is to do the object, which is this tooth that's an extrude. Choose the path, drag it a little bit. Let's make sure it's solving correctly. So we're going to do the path direction so that it knows to turn itself and the instances are solving correctly. We're not going to do extent, but instead we want to get the spacing right. But we do want it to be intelligent spacing. I'm getting D50 is the quantity. So we're going to do the belt length, which is that parameter we built, divide by D50, which is the quantity. Now it's going to be intelligent based on how many you fill in for the instances. I click OK or hit enter. It's going to solve it and it's going to create 3 equally spaced in our model. I'm going to go to wireframe so we can see it just a little bit better. Okay, so we have these 3 instances. So now if we go back and we want to play with this, we want to do something massive like 55. Okay, so one thing I'm getting a problem here. Now, one thing we need to be careful of is how did we extrude this? My sketch was the interior, and that's what we've been basing this off of. But when we did our extrude, I did a thin extrude based off the line. Did I extrude to the interior or exterior? I want it to go outwards. So now it's actually solving to the outward direction, which is good. So when we go back to look at it, double click on this chain, it's 427. And that's what our belt length has calculated at this point. We then add the thickness on the outer of this line. So this is looking really good. And finally, just a quick sanity check. If I use inspect and I select these 2 faces, I can see that that's 5.76. If I do the same thing, if I choose another 2, same value, great. So the spacing's looking okay. A quick sanity check, visually inspecting it, looks okay. Hey, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of big nerd session, creating a smart timing belt with Fusion. There's a lot of little gotchas in this one. Give it a shot. See if you can get this to work. Let me know in the comments if you're able to successfully put it together. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.